Crap. Crap. I think I was wrong about that. Dang it. Crap. You're kidding me. All right. So, I'm 3/4 of the way through this book and just realizing that either I'm an idiot and haven't really realized some things, or I'm exactly where I need to be. No idea. Honestly, no idea. But I'm going to use this lovely little board to try to make some connections and give a little bit of a summary of where I think things are at in the series and in this book. Maybe put some characters in their perspective or in their right spot. All right. Now, what I was legitimately getting worked up about last night was there was this meeting between Dujek and Whiskey Jack in Memories of Ice. And they were talking about going into the Panian Domain and messing with everything going on down there and splitting with Kaladin Brood. So they are kind of Kaladin Brood. Let's just put Kaladin Brood here. And Brood is very suspicious about Lacine. Let's put her up there. And i.e. Empire. Okay. So Kaladin Brood thinks that maybe these guys over here, maybe Dujek and Whiskey Jack, are all part of the Empire. And until this moment in the story, I thought, I thought, just like all the other bridge burners think, I thought that these guys were outlawed. And I'm pretty sure there were hints in Deadhouse Gates with the meeting between Lacine and Callum that actually they were all kind of on the same side here. But I'm an idiot. And when I read the second book, I did the second book for some of it, especially that last half, with audiobook. And with audiobook, it was late at night. I remember exactly where I was and what I was doing. I was playing a video game. Empire Force something, Earth Force something, and I was shooting these massive ants and trying to protect the world. Sorry, but I had other things on my mind than this. I was trying to protect the world from big giant bees and big giant ants. And so I think I messed myself up with a very particular plot point. Now, I've considered going back and really reading it again, but I think I'm just going to trudge forward. But until this point, I thought there was this big line through it. Callum goes and talks to Lacine at the end of Deadhouse Gates. What am I doing? Okay. I don't know how to spell it. Is it K-L-A-M? Doesn't matter. And he talks to Lacine and it was like, I can't remember why even he decided not to kill her in the end, because that's what he was doing. But since I had like 50 ants on me, I thought, okay, well, one problem at a time. But he didn't kill Lacine, but she's still evil in my mind. And at this point in Memories of Ice, now I have no idea, because Dujek is telling Whiskey Jack, hey, you know that stuff that happened in Gardens of the Moon when Tattersail died? And Tashrin killed Tattersail? Or whatever. Not that. Killed Night Chill and all that. And then at Pale, let me put Tayshrin. That's not how to spell it, but close enough. Steven Erickson, that's how to spell Tayshrin. That's how to spell Tayshrin. Don't confuse us. Okay, I thought Lysine has Tayshrin trying to kill the bridge burners. See how close they are with Whiskey Jack? And then later on in this book, we think, well, actually, Lysine is trying to get rid of Whiskey Jack only. But that sort of thing, it changes in this first chapter of this third quarter of the book, where Dujek says, nah, the reason why you aren't emperor isn't necessarily what everyone means, and the reason why you were demoted is so that you could be on Genebacchus when the crippled god starts doing his stuff. So you can be on the front lines. You are the best person for the job, so she wants you there. Everyone sees it as this big demotion and middle finger from Lysine to Whiskey Jack, but apparently things are all hunky-dory within the Malazan Empire, and maybe they're not as evil as we thought they were, at least this Lysine person. But I have no idea. So just a little addendum to that, because I realized I didn't quite explain it perfectly well. Dujek and Lysine are working, it sounds like they were working together to make it so it seemed like everyone was outlawed. So the bridge burners thought it was, and they thought, oh, Lysine just doesn't want Whiskey Jack to be the emperor. But actually, it's so that the bridge burners think that they are outlawed, even though they are more loyal to Whiskey Jack. And so that also Brood doesn't think that they are a part of the Malazan Empire, because he's against tyranny. I hope that cleared some stuff up. Now, back to the board. Now, let's throw some other people in it. At this point in Memories of Ice, we have this boy named Perrin. And I like Perrin because Perrin doesn't play cards and got chosen to be the leader of the player of cards. And I think that's swell. I always like being the leader of things when I don't necessarily like it or get into it before. I remember being in school and sometimes picked as a captain for flag football when I didn't care so much about flag football at the time. It was great. I got all the power, and everyone wanted to influence me on who I should pick. But, like Perrin, that was my choice. Now, Perrin has this job that he has going for him. He gets to pick, as far as I can tell, who gets to sit on these seats that are vacant. So these are seats of the different warrens, I guess. There's Hood on a seat. There's Shadow Throne. Those are all the ones I really know. There used to be Fenner, but he's gone. Now there's Treach or Trake. There's these wolf dudes. But here's the thing. I don't even realize if these are guys that are these are all one in the same type of people on their seats, because a lot of them are wandering. These two wolves have been wandering for a long time. It looks like they're just going to get on a seat. There's this vacant Talanai Mass bone seat. Going back, I think Lysine, her throne in the Empire, is a seat of bones. That's not Calor's seat, right? No, her seat was these big bones, mammoth bones or something. I don't know. So, I mean, that's got to mean something, right? Seat of bones. And anyway, it is Captain Perrin's job also to decide who else gets a seat. The crippled god wants a seat. It sounds like everyone wants Perrin not to give that to him, but Gruntle, who's a tiger guy, and I'm down with that, is kind of on Perrin's wavelength. Chosen, he could probably sit on one of these seats if Perrin chose that to happen, maybe. I don't know. Quick Ben, who is lots of people, apparently, or has the power of a lot of people. I don't understand the difference there. Also tells Perrin to follow his gut. Other people who show trust in Perrin, Whiskey Jack trusts Perrin. Okay, Whiskey Jack trusts Perrin. Animander Rake trusts Perrin. Silver Fox. I don't think trusts Perrin. And I think Silver Fox... All right, let's go to Silver Fox. Silver Fox is working with Kruppa and Krull. But Silver Fox is also 4 people. Wow. Silver Fox is Tattersail, and she is Night Chill. Oh, and now we're at Night Chill. Let's have another little tangent since we're talking about Night Chill. Night Chill, Tayshrin sees Night Chill and doesn't really know who she is. But we as a reader know who she is. She is some kind of reincarnation of the Elder Goddess, who is friends with Krull. So Night Chill, i.e. Elder Goddess. Okay. And Krull and Night Chill, i.e. Elder Goddess, want Perrin to break the sword of Animander Rake, who trusts him, but also doesn't really maybe know everything about him. Doesn't really know that Perrin was in his sword. So, the reason they want that to happen is so Draconis, their friend, Draconis, who is in Animander Rake's sword, can come out and do work. Now, by doing that, they would let go of all these other dark people and whatever. People who have been trapped there, which could be a massive mercy, but could be really bad. But let's get back to other things. Oh, well, actually, it would be really bad, and it would probably kill Dude Jack and Whiskey Jack and the Bridge Burners. It would probably kill Gruntle. It would probably kill Lacine, Callum, Tayshrin. It would probably kill Brood. All these people. Now, another way that people could get killed everywhere is if Brood swings his hammer. All right? Swings his hammer at the chains of the crippled god. Hey, I lost him. Well, let's put the crippled god here. Swings the chains at the crippled god, letting him out. Now, another way, oh yes, and if he does that, swings chains, swings hammer. Oh, struggling. It would kill everyone and their mother. Another way Brood can kill everybody is simply by doing nothing. Doesn't swing, and he stays there, and then Burn, his main Mother Nature lady, dies. Oh, man. So he can save Burn, or he can make her live. But either way, Crippled God gets away, and everyone dies. Okay? So we have that to deal with. But Brood might have a third way, a third option. And the Wrath Burn, so Burn has a priest. All these people have priests. Wrath Burn, our Burn, wants Brood to give up the hammer because he can't deal with it. And Burn gave that hammer to Brood. So who is this Wrath Burn to say that he should give up the hammer? Now, what we are hoping is that Brood finds another way and saves everyone by finding that other way. And that's kind of the theme on a lot of these people. We're hoping Perrin finds a smarter way. Kruppa seems to always find smarter ways. Quickben finds smarter ways. And we're hoping the world doesn't die. Now, let's get back to the 4 people in Silver Fox. We have Tattersail in there. And until this point, I've thought what everyone else thought. Let's get Tattersail to the forefront. Because there's these 4 different, or 3 different at least, people within Tattersail. And we want the Tattersail, or within Silver Fox, but we want the Tattersail spot to come to the forefront. And before getting to the other 4 people, or 2 people, or it's probably like 8 people within Silver Fox, for all I know. It probably adds 5 people every book. There are 4 people, but she is approached by Kruppa and all the different Talanai masks, who are bone people. So let's just put bone people over here. And Tool. Tool's our main bone guy, but he's not our only main bone guy. We have Tool's sister. We have Pran Chol, who is hunting Tool's sister. Oh, and speaking of Tool's sister, we have, let's just circle her and put a little thing there. We have 2 little Jagged children. Two of them. And she put them in the prologue in a warren of chaos. And now one of the Jagged children, I think, might be working with the Panion Daemon. So I'm guessing that the boy Jagged child... Actually, no, I'm not. No. Anyway, there is a Panion Seer who's working with the Crippled God. And the Panion Seer is a Jagged. Remember? The Talanai Mass fight the Jagged. So there's a lot going on here, and we haven't even scratched the surface. So these guys here are tied to this fight against the Jagged. All the Talanai Mass, except for Tool. Tool is on his way north for his own purposes, which I do not know. And Tattersail, i.e. Silver Fox, i.e. Nightchill, i.e. Bellerdan, i.e. Silver Fox, who's inside of Silver Fox and is also Talanai Mass, who has 2 dads. One dad is Pran Chol, and one dad is Tool. I swear it said that. I swear there were 2 pages. There was one page where it was Pran as the dad. Another Talanai Mass shows up and goes, no, don't get mad at that dad. Get mad at this dad, because this dad is wandering along, and he's the reason his warren is all messed up. Because he, of course, owns a warren like Animander Rake has a warren, or he messed things up because he was wandering around. He messed everything up. All right. Following so far. So, Pran Chol and this other Talanai Mass, whatever his name is, I'll just put, I think it started with an O. They want Silver Fox to release the Talanai Mass and the Talanai. Let's just put Talanai. To release the I Mass and the I, and to let them go back to the dust. Because there's always going to be another Jagged, and even if there's another Jagged, there are these Kachain Chamal, and they are just as dangerous as the Jagged. So there will always be a tyrant. And it'll always go back to the Kachain Chamal or someone else. And if that's not the case, if they get rid of these... Oh, yes, and the Kachain Chamal, they're dino people with swords on their arms, but maybe not all of them. Okay? And one of them's still alive, giving talk. Big hugs. Big hugs. And this might be a good place to go to mention where hugs are a major theme. Here. Hugs. Hugs are a major theme in this book. There are embraces. Good embraces from Itkovian. Let's talk about Itkovian a little bit. Itkovian works for Fenner. All right? At least he did, until Fenner lost his spot. Remember in Dead House Gates when Haboric touched something? Some green jade statue? Let's just put Haboric up here. We're not going to go into Dead House Gates, because that would be too much. Anyway, so Fenner and... Haboric used to work for Fenner, and he lost his hands in this Rev thing, and a lot of people are afraid of Itkovian if they're evil, because they want to feel guilty about things, because the crippled god likes to prey on people's guilt. And people who have felt guilty about things so far in this book, Perrin has, Whiskey Jack has, Itkovian has. I don't know if Gruntle has. But let's put Stawny here, since we're talking about Gruntle. Stawny, really cool character. Who else are we missing? Trots. Let's talk about Trots a little bit. Trots. So, who Trots is in the city that Itkovian is in, they have some bones under this main place, and those bones are they are the original gods of the Barghast, and the Barghast are big people. Brood is a Barghast, or at least he has Barghast blood in him. Trots is a Barghast and just won this fight, and they don't know who they are, the Barghast. They keep the same traditions and things for a long time. They're seafaring and stuff. And they are the distant relatives of the Talanai Mass. Pre-ritual. Now, if you want... Yeah. Okay. So, pre-ritual. Now, other people who are seafarers, we have the Segula. And sometimes people show up to fight the Segula, who I just learned about. And they have an M. There's some kind of pirate people with pirate cities, and I just found out about this. So sometimes they are fighting them. Apparently they're fighting some Jagged on a different continent, maybe. They might be or working with the Jagged. I don't know. I think they're fighting the Talanai mass on a different continent. But there's another there's another Talanai mass that they meet that tells Lady Envy that it's actually humans at that place causing the most trouble. And so I don't know what to make of that, but it seems like a King Calor thing all over again. So let's put King Calor. King Calor. Now, we know that King Calor is waiting to strike. He's been working with Brood as his number 2, and things are ready to pop off, I think, in this book with King Calor. But like everything happens, like that original prophecy happened, anything that he gets his hands on is eventually going to crumble. That was Krull said that. Night Chill, i.e. The Elder Goddess said that, as well as Draconis is there. So they are on this other thing fighting Kaladin or Calor. Following me? And Quickben is also fighting the crippled god himself. And Kruppa is fighting the crippled god himself. But also, Quickben tells people to trust Perrin. Kruppa tells Whiskey Jack and Dujek to trust Silver Fox. And we have these necromancer guys. Necromancers. They're also in the mix. And Buke can fly now because Krull, i.e. Karuli, who hired Gruntle, helped Buke fly. So it's really cool. Who else do we have? We have Picker, who isn't really anything in the story for me quite yet. Probably for other people. We have the Maiba. The Maiba? Let's find some blank space. The Maiba is being helped now. She's been having these terrible dreams. And she's been having these dreams that have connected Talk. Where's Talk? Talk with the she-wolf. Okay? The she-wolf. And Silver Fox has been doing this in a way or something. And now that Call and Murillo have the Maiba, that's going to cause some issues. You don't want to cause issues. People might start dying. Okay? So they have just taken her to Capistan, and this guy shows up. I don't know his name, but he's called the Knight of Death or something. And Knight of Death. And the Knight of Death has swords glued to his hands. Okay? The Knight of Death had swords glued to his hands. And he's working for Hood. And he's like, hey, Cull, I just saved you from the necromancers who tried to attack you because you had Maiba or whatever. Am I dead? And Call's like, you're probably dead. And you probably need a name because you don't sleep. That's why we figure you're dead. But let's call you something. And this Knight of Death, he knows that he probably died in a fire. And probably from 7 cities where Haboric is. So I don't have much room to put where I think that could have happened. And yeah. So this is where I'm at so far. Let me just see if I'm forgetting anyone important. We have, we have people like Hedge that are still kind of, let's see, let's put some connections. Hedge likes Datorin. Some people like the romance parts of things. We have Heaton, who's a Barghast, who likes Itkovian. We have Whiskey Jack and Corlat, who is kind of the voice of reason for Whiskey Jack. And that's a sweet thing going on. She's actually also pretty wise. She kind of can perceive things in people. She perceives that there's more going on in this first child of Anaster or something, whatever his name. What's his name? Don't want to miss anything. Oh, it doesn't say it in the Dramatis Personae. But, okay. So, he is... She perceives some goodness in him. In the same way that Itkovian, who likes to give hugs and take away the pains of people, gave hugs to a priest of Rathfenner who was being claimed by someone else, and decided to give a hug also to whoever claimed him, to that god, and was getting ripped away. And now this A guy is maybe going to become good. Okay? So maybe he's going to be friends with Perrin. Or maybe he's going to be friends with Lysine. I don't know. Maybe he'll be friends with Tool. Maybe he won't have any friends. But that's what Itkovian does. Now, who else are we missing? I feel like we're missing someone. Let's go through this. Looking in the Dramatis Personae, there's a bridge burner mage called Toes. I literally don't know who that is. But he's a bridge burner. There's one also called Shank. Don't have a clue who that is. But I bet Shank and Toes like each other. Probably. If I had to guess, I bet Toes is called Toes because he bites his toenails, and Shanks people. Right? Makes sense. Now, Corlat is not your typical Tistandi. We have the Tistandi. Corlat is kind of a little bit maybe more open with things spiritual and things than the other Tistandi, which I think is kind of neat. And she has been concerned with helping the Maiba. All other people who have been concerned with trying to help the Maiba. Clearly not Silver Fox, but maybe actually Silver Fox. Right? Who else? Kruppa has been trying to help the Maiba by giving her these Rivi people's copper, Rivi spirit, copper things. We have other people who have tried to help. Crone. Crone's a bird. Crone. And call in them. And speaking of Kruppa and these other, that just reminds me that we do have these infected Warrens. We have Quick Ben with the little dude on him who is a Barghast spirit. And speaking of the Barghasts, one of the Barghasts wants Perrin to bless the Barghast spirit, to give the blessing. And he's like, dude, I don't know how to do that. And when the new shield, the new shield anvil, who Ikovian gave that job to somebody, when her or the Destriant of the Gray Fox people say, hey, they approach Silver Fox and say, hey, can you release these guys? Can you release the Talanai, who are the undead wolves of my dudes, of the she-wolf and the he-wolf, and Talk and whatever, and Bellerdan? Can you release them? And she's like, no. But she also says, hey, can you give us this dude here? And then Perrin's like, hey, I give you my blessing. And she's like, whoa, what? I felt something. And he's like, oh, snap, shoot, crap. So apparently he can just talk it into existence, and he has power like an old ancient king where once he says it, it's law, and even he can't take it back. So that's where we're at with that. Let's make sure we're not missing anyone. Who the heck was this? Oh, yes. The Tool sister's named Kilava. And she is trying to rectify things in her own little story arc, which I think is rectifying putting these Jagged children into the Warren thing. So let's hope that that gets wrapped up in this book. There's a few little things that I think need to get wrapped up soon. But we have 200 pages. So, okay. Apparently the Seer Domin aren't all evil. Apparently when Talk has been getting this little bit of time, and there's this other Seer Domin, whatever his name is, and he's been kind of nice to Talk, which I think is cool. The person giving the hugs to Talk, I think, is the matriarch lady from the Kachayan Chamal. And I don't understand. If I had to guess, I'd guess the Jagged in the next few hundred pages. The Seer Domin Jagged and the mother are going to work with Perrin and Gruntle and Talk, because Talk's going to see right through her or whatever. I don't know. And they're all going to work against Calor again. And King Calor is once again going to be the main protagonist under the Crippled God for the rest of the series. At least for the rest of the book. That's what I'm guessing. Lady Envy is being an idiot. She's hilarious sometimes, but she poisons a dog. The same Warren that she's using to freak everyone out has poor little, what's his name? Gareth, the dog, poisoned. And then she heals him because Mock tells her to. And then she does, and is like, whoa, I'm the one that helped you, dumb dog. And then Mock's like, dude, you're the one that did it. So we don't really like Lady Envy right now. We don't like her right now, but we do because she's like awesome. But we're like, she's kind of like a junior high petulant girl. Okay. She needs to grow up a little bit. Now, we like the Segula. We really like the Segula. We don't like the crippled god. I think that's what we know. We don't like him. Unless there's a twist and we really like him by the end. I'm not sure. But that's where we're at. So, maybe by the end of this book, I'll give you my full thoughts and reviews, and we'll see which of these connections kind of tied up. I found it so fun so far. A little confusing. A little much to hold on to. But I will see you maybe on the next video. I don't know if it will be a detailed summary of all the different chapters like I have been doing, or if it'll just be something like this where I tell you our current state of things. So I'll see you soon. Oh, and I also thought until yesterday that Taishan was a girl.